Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you've had a great week so far and thank you for tuning in again this week. I am sharing with you my brush cleaning, how I clean my brushes, how I keep them sanitary, and also my beauty blenders. So if you want to learn how to clean some brushes, please keep on watching. I also give you like what I use to clean the brushes, not just show you how I do it. Well, I mean, I guess that kind of goes hand in hand. Anyway, I think I should stop talking now and show you how I clean my brushes. Okay, so this is the soap I like to use. It's just a natural goat's milk soap. You basically just want to find like the most natural soap you can, and goat's milk's really gentle on the brushes. So you first start by running a sink of water. You don't have to fill it right up, just enough for all the brushes to get wet obviously. And you want this water to be about, not boiling hot, but pretty warm, you know. Then taking my bar of soap, I first start with face brushes, so this is a foundation brush, and I just kind of wipe the tip of the brush where all the bristles are over the bar of soap just to get it really soapy. And then to make a lather on my hand, I just kind of rub the brush around in circles on my hand, circular motions, and you can start to see all the dirt coming out. For foundation brushes, and because this one was pretty dirty, I did this twice, but usually I'd only do it once. As you can see in this clip, I'm making the lather and it's a bit cleaner than the last one, meaning there is less product and dirt in the brush. Once I'm happy with how soapy the brush is, I'll then lay it over the edge of a table. So I just use my bathroom sink, the little bench next to it, and I'll continue with the rest of my brushes. So you can see me doing this here, just kind of swishing the brushes over the bar of soap to get it all soapy, and then creating a lather with the brush on my hand like so. When doing face brushes, I usually only do one at a time, but obviously if you're doing smaller brushes like eyeshadow brushes and they're not that dirty, you can do more than one at a time. So once you've done that with all your brushes and they're nice and soapy, you then want to rinse out the soap. So again, I just take some water on my hand. As you can see, this is warm water as well, just to note. And I create more lathers on my hand and kind of keep squeezing the bristles of the brush, as you can see me doing, to check if there's any leftover product. And I kind of just keep doing that with the leftover soap in the brush until it's all clean and there's no more product coming out in the kind of foam that we create. Then I run the brush under the tap, kind of squeeze it out. You want it to be squeaky clean, and you'll know what I mean. If you squeeze the bristles between your thumb and your index finger, it'll kind of squeak. It's just basically the same as when you wash your hair. You just want it to be ultra clean and make sure there's no soap left in there. Once you've squeezed out the majority of the water, I like to do this little hack, which I'm doing now, which is rubbing the brush upside down between my palms. Oh, I dropped it. But rubbing the brush between my palms to try and get any water out of the middle of the brush. This tip we learned in makeup school and it's literally so helpful. It'll make your brushes dry 10 times faster. And yeah, it's just a super great way to dry your brushes quickly. I've also found that if I wash my brushes in warm water, it helps them to dry a lot faster as well. I don't know why, ask science, but yeah, that also really helps. So make sure your water's warm, obviously not going to burn your hand, but as hot as you can handle it. Moving on to beauty blenders, so you first want to get it really wet. I do this again in hot water, so you just get it super duper wet, drench it, and then you take your bar of soap again and kind of rub it just like you did with the brushes, but you have to get all over the beauty blender with the soap and just make sure it's completely coated. Then with some wet hands, rub it like I'm doing in between my palms, and then you want to squeeze the sponge from kind of the middle up and then do the same on the other end, and then you'll see all of the product come out within the soap. It's so satisfying. Like, it's a weird thing, but it's really satisfying. When you do it, I promise you'll know what I mean. You kind of just repeat this process over and over again and again until there is no more foundation or color coming out through the soap. You'll see what I mean. The soap is white, that's clean, and then there's foundation color coming out in other parts. That means it's still dirty, so you just got to keep doing the process again and again until it's all white. This may take some time, and just remember that sponges do actually stain. Mine is like a few years old. I should probably throw it away. But mine's stained on the bottom and I know that. So even though it looks dirty, it's actually not. It's just because it's old and stained. Then once you think it's clean, you can run it under the water, just squeeze and squeeze, make sure there's no soap left in it, and you kind of just keep squeezing until there's no foam or anything coming out of the sponge. Give it a big shake, a big old squeeze, and you'll have a clean beauty blender. Now, in terms of drying, you want to lay your brushes over the edge of a bench, table, chair, whatever, but you just want to make sure that the bristles and kind of the end of the brush are over the edge of the table or chair or whatever you're using. This is because the bristles are actually held together by glue in the brush, so if the brush is wet and the water can't kind of fall out through the end of the brush, it means that water's going to seep down into that glue and loosen the glue, meaning that your brush will eventually fall apart. So yeah, this is just a little hack to make sure your brushes last a really long time. You then want to leave it for quite a while. I usually leave mine for 12 hours just to dry, and they'll be all good by the end of that time period. You can also, if you find your brushes are losing shape just while they're laying on the bench to dry, I did it in the last clip, but you just kind of form the bristles as much as you can to the original shape of the brush so that they don't dry in kind of a weird spread out pattern, if that makes sense. Now, this part isn't necessary if you're not a makeup artist and if you're not someone who shares your brushes, but this is just me sanitizing my brushes with alcohol. So I used a brush sterilizer, sprayed that on a tissue and rubbed all of the brushes through the tissue just to kind of give it an extra bit of cleanliness. Well, there you have it, guys. There is how I clean my makeup brushes. If you use any other products to clean your makeup brushes, please let me know in the comments below, because I love like learning new things and experimenting with different products. This is just what I found is most gentle for my brushes and also cleans them like the quickest, the easiest, and I try to waste as little water as possible. Obviously, you go through a lot of water and just disposable products being a makeup artist, but you know, try to conserve as much energy and waste as you possibly can. But at the end of the day, hygiene is super duper important as well, so you don't want to compromise that. I hope you learned a thing or two, and don't forget to share comments down below. This is like video number 2 of my 3-part kind of like makeup comeback to YouTube, because I learned quite a few things and have obviously had a lot of practice since I've been away with makeup and all of that, you know, all of the kind of extras that go with it. So yeah, I'm super excited to be sharing with you guys some of what I know. But yeah, don't stress, I've got heaps of different cool ideas coming up for you in the future. There'll be vlogs, challenges, singing videos, all sorts, so please stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support and hanging in there for when I've come back. So yeah, you guys are the best, and I love you, and I'll see you next week. Bye!